Libya's National Oil Corporation has announced the closure of operations in major oil fields after staff in the key export terminal of Zueitina were blocked from working amid anti-government protests that are interfering with its operation. The facility produces 315,000 barrels per day out of national production of more than 1.2 million barrels per day. Here are the details of these and other news making headlines across Africa.
The National Oil Corporation in Libya regrets the beginning of a painful wave of closure of oil facilities at a time when oil and gas prices are soaring in the international market under the impact of the war in Ukraine. The closure of Zueitina, one of the 4 oil terminals in the Oil Crescent region, will deprive Libya of the export of nearly a quarter of its production. The closure of facilities would affect electricity output at Zueitina and northern Benghazi power plants and also lead to a shortage of cooking gas supplies in eastern Libya. Al-Cherara power plant produces 315,000 barrels per day out of national production of more than 1.2 million barrels per day, compared to 1.6 million before 2011. Meanwhile, Nigeria's businessman Aliko Dangote has opened the continent's largest fertilizer plant. The $2.5 billion fertilizer plant, which sits on 1,235 acres of land, has an initial annual production capacity of 3 million metric tons of urea fertilizer. The opening of Dangote fertilizer plant comes amid a supply crunch in crop fertilizers due to sanctions against Russia, which accounted for almost 1/5 of 2021 fertilizer exports. The fertilizer plant is already shipping in the US, Brazil and India and is expected to create 5,000 direct and indirect jobs. Finally, Cape Verde is feeling the real of the high cost of living excreted by the current war in Ukraine. Citizens are worried that producers and traders are taking advantage of the ongoing war to hike food prices, as the country does not have a law that controls prices of commodities. Fuel prices have risen 5% this month, which was the maximum limit stipulated by the government, but have accumulated to an average of 42.6% in the last 1 year.